Yo, how's it going, guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, what we are going to be doing is taking a look at a new formation, the 4-5-1 second variant, which I have seen on Twitter from I Am French, a very popular FIFA Twitter account, obviously known for Foothead and just a bunch of awesome FIFA Twitter content, things like that. So I'll leave a link to his profile in the description. But yeah, I saw these tactics and I saw that he got top 200 with these tactics on FIFA 21, and I thought, you know what, these look interesting. They do look interesting. This 4-5-1 second variant, I haven't tried it out this year. I went ahead, tried it out in objectives, tried it out in Division 1, and I'm going to give you guys an idea of whether it is actually a really useful formation for you guys to use, or whether it is one maybe that you do want to avoid. So hopefully you do enjoy it. If you do, smash like down below, subscribe for a lot more FIFA 21 content. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to talk about the instructions and the custom tactics and a few things that was noted when he went through the custom tactics. And yeah, let's just get into it. So that is the team I'm using in the background. It's not my regular team. It's just the one that I put together to try out. I wanted to try out a few new players in Division Rivals as opposed to the usual players that we would normally use. But I will talk to you throughout this video on what type of players you actually want to use. But as you can see, what you want to do is just have the formation, starting team for whatever gets your team the most chemistry. Then in the custom tactics, you want to go ahead and select the 4-5-1. Now these here, it's very standard, balanced 6 width, 5 depth. I think it's actually meant to be 6 and 6. And then we have 6 here, 6 for the players in the box. Corners on 4 and free kicks on 2, which makes sense. You want more players in the box for the corners than free kicks. Free kicks you never really score from. I like the width, I like the balance, I like the depth. I think that that's decent for both the defensive and the offensive. You don't really want too high on the width, you don't want it too high on the depth, because your team can be really countered very, very quickly. I normally sit to around 5 depth, but 6 depth, I didn't really notice too much difference. So yeah, nice tactics there. Formation obviously is a 4-5-1, and we'll talk about more about the players in a second, but the instructions itself, as we start off with the fullbacks, of course, it's stay back whilst attacking. That is just the most common one for fullbacks. Now, I put this on every formation that I do use. The wide players are come back on defense. That is the only instruction that he actually had on the wingers. So it's an interesting one. I would probably put cut inside and get in the box for the cross. That's what I really like with the 4-1-2-1-2. That is my go-to formation. But come back on defense just adds that bit more defensive security. And you'll see as this formation continues that there probably is less wing play because you are focusing more on attacking through the middle, I would suggest anyway. Come back on defense on the left mid, nothing else applied. And then we have get forward, get in the box for the cross, and cover wing. Obviously that's just the default on the left centre mid. So this sort of player in this position wants to be a good box-to-box player. The one in the middle would be your defensive unit. So Goretzka, he's probably more of a box-to-box, but he can do a role in a defensive job as well. And he has stay back whilst attacking, conservative interceptions and cover centre. Again, I've used these instructions on most of my CDMs, most of my centre mids, so I know it is the right thing to have. Get forward, get in the box for the cross, and cover centre on the right centre mid. So differing from the left centre mid is the cover centre. It looks like in these two centre mids here, you want them to be attacking players. I've put Del Piero down as a centre mid. Probably not ideal. You probably want maybe a Paul Pogba, Kevin De Bruyne, those type of box-to-box, a bit more attacking midfielders. But Del Piero, he's so good. He's versatile. He can do a job. Bradley Dack, this new SBC card, can do objective card, can also do a really, really good job. So I think he's a good addition. Maybe you'd want Del Piero up top. But we went for this Joshua King card, and he has target man on the striker. So I don't normally use target man. I normally just leave it on balance. But target man, back into an opponent and ask the ball to feet. So it's an interesting one because you want a tall, probably a strong striker. Joshua King is fairly strong. He's quite fast as well. I think a guy who is really good in this position obviously would be Mbappe. He's going to be a phenomenal striker, and he does work well with the target man instructions on as well. But that is the team, how he set it up. Bellarabi, Sinclair on the wing. It's not the craziest team, so I was interested to see whether this 4-5-1 formation could actually turn out to be a really, really nice addition and a good alternative for me to use in FIFA 21. But yeah, that is the instructions that he got top 200 in the world with which is absolutely phenomenal. What we'll do now, though, is we'll get into the highlights that I did manage to get with this team using the 4-5-1 second variant and see whether it actually did work for me. So here we go then. Just like last week's video on the custom tactics, we're going to be talking about the key players that you actually need to use in this formation to make it work really, really well, in my opinion. And I think first up we have the wingers. Scott Sinclair and Sadio Mane. Bellarabi got the hook. He wasn't very good. We brought on Sadio Mane. And wingers in this formation come back on defence as the instruction applied. It's not something that I would usually do. But as I say, the 4-5-1, it's got the 5 players flat across the midfield. So the 3 centre mids and the 2 wide players. The wide players are the ones that took a bit further back. The centre mids both on get forward. It's a strange one. It is a strange one, but it really was quite effective in game. And the wingers were important because you need that width in game where you can just ping the ball upfield. You see here, we've got Saint Maximin. This was just in a different team that I was using, but the same formation. Saint Maximin was very, very effective in getting the ball across to Heung-min Son. And although he was told to stay back, he did a really, really good job at getting up the field. And maybe that comes down to the depth applied to the team. I think the 2 wingers were very, very important to the way you play. You need fast wingers. You need wingers that can do a bit of defending too. I think Sadio Mane is that. He is a workhorse. He is absolutely brilliant in that wide position. Probably the best player that you can get as a wide player that you want to play in a left mid or a right mid position, because you know that he will also do a really, really nice job defensively as well. And the wide players, again, you just want them to be important for the counter-attacks. I think counter-attacks are so important this year. Very, very effective. And they make really, really good runs. So make sure that you get very, very good wide players in your team. I think Scott Sinclair was a funny one. If you'd like to see player reviews on them new championship cards, let me know down in the comments. But I think Scott Sinclair was good. Probably have used much better. I think a Heung-min Son would have been fantastic in this formation. We used him as a striker in a different one. But wingers important. Midfield obviously important as well. You see Del Piero, Goretzka, Bradley Dack. Del Piero again, probably not a midfielder, but in this situation he worked well. He did a great job at passing the ball, driving from deep. I think you tell him to get forward, so why wouldn't I want a fantastic midfielder like a Del Piero in this position? And he can hold his own. Probably not the perfect one, but yeah, Bradley Dack carries the ball here, and this is what you want. Box-to-box midfielders. Maybe you would maybe classify it as a cam normally, like a Bradley Dack. Maybe you'd play him as a cam. Playing him in that centre mid position, he can come deep, pick up the ball, really nice pace, really nice dribbling, and he's able to just create chances because of his pace, and he's also able to finish them as well. He did contribute to a couple of goals and just did a really, really nice job in that left centre mid position. You see here, this is the way it plays. Del Piero, you got Bradley Dack. Goretzka's dropping deep. He is on stay back, so imagine having Bradley Dack and Del Piero or your 2 centre mids playing almost as 2 cams in some situations. I think it was actually Goretzka who had the shot there. So yeah, you can see this midfield is actually quite fluid, and you probably would want maybe, say, an Allen, a Kante. I think Kante would be the perfect one to have as your CDM. You know you have that defensive cover. But the final aspect of this team, which was important for me, was the striker, guys. The striker. Having that instruction as a target man, I think a 1-striker formation for me this year doesn't really seem to be as effective as it was in previous years. Like the 4-2-3-1, I don't think is as good as it was last year. And having a 1-striker on target man, he did a good job. I think I'd still prefer playing with 2 strikers, but having a player like Josh King that I did use in these games, he was fast, he was powerful, good passing, good hold-up play, and really good runs as well. Really, really nice runs. Unfortunately, not the most responsive. Should be finishing that chance. But he's creating chances for others as well. And he's also, yeah, just getting absolutely wiped out. Should have been a red card. But he probably would have got more goals, to be honest, if we were using... well, if we didn't get wiped out as much. I mean, he's through here. Just gets taken out, but no foul apparently. So really nice runs from the striker. And I think, again, the striker in Joshua King was really, really important. So the 4-5-1 second variant for me was an interesting one. It felt like it was really effective down the middle. You've got your 2 centre mids pushing up the pitch. You've got Goretzka, or whoever your CDM is, covering the back line. The back line all on stay back. You've got your 2 wingers coming back to defend as well. So really strong in defence. Quick for the counter-attacks. You've got your target man striker, able to hold up the ball, pass it on. I think it was a good formation. Would I use it in Weekend League? I don't know. I don't think I actually had the right personnel to actually use this formation. I think my team is so suited to a 4-1-2-1-2 wide formation that This one just made me suffer a bit because I like having the 2 strikers, I like having the wingers, which this team did have. But that CDM role, I don't know. I think the CDM role in Goretzka would work in a 4-1-2-1-2. In this formation, just didn't work as well as you would like it to be. You'd like it to be a bit more defensive. That's why you'd probably go for an N'Golo Kante or another defensive beast like that. You probably wouldn't have a box-to-box player in the lone CDM position like you can in different formations. But I'd definitely give this formation a go. Yeah, it was very good for a lot of people, it seems like. But for me, wasn't as good as the 4-1-2-1-2 or the 4-4-2, unfortunately, but that is just my opinion. I'm sure you guys should test it out and it will bring you good results. But I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you made it to the end, thank you very much for watching my content. I will see you all in the next one.